God defend New Zealand.
Sup New Zealand and the world, Lucas Lawman's a Kiwi voice. Back at the Freedom and Rights Coalition March, but this time we're at Latimer. Don't know if you can sort of get the feel from what's behind me, but again, like it was 2 weeks ago when I was down at Cranmer, the last march, obviously missed last week, the numbers feel kind of light. There's only a few hundred here at the moment, if that. So it'll be interesting to see once we start marching, whether that picks up much in the same way that that one at Cranmer did. I was way off with that. There was probably less than 1,000 when we started marching, and there ended up being about 3,500 or 4,000 from memory on that march. So hopefully the same here, bit of a different feel. The chat from the MC has once again been around keep the peace, made a note of potential plants, to keep an eye out for anyone that's trying to stir up any crap essentially, and let the security know or have a quiet word with them yourself. We have got police over on the far side of Latimer Square who seem to be just monitoring things as they always do. I'm sure we'll see a few on the way. We're not too sure what the route's going to be, but let's go and check it out.
Can you make it right decision? Can you make it right decision?
So I've bumped into Solomon, who is the founder of the South Island Independence Movement group on Facebook, currently sitting at 24,000 followers, been happening since 2013. Thanks for joining us, Solomon. Appreciate you taking the time to say a couple of words.
How we going, mate?
Yeah, good. So, have you been to a few of these before?
I've been to a couple of these. We've been doing this kind of thing for years. It's amazing to see this many people all finally getting out and about.
Yeah.
It's good to see the support out there.
Do you feel this is a sort of a place of peace and unity when you come to these things?
Oh, absolutely. I haven't seen any trouble at all. These are really well-behaved people. They're really getting out there. I love the attitude, love the atmosphere. No, bloody good.
And what drives you personally to come out and protest?
Oh, it's one of those things, mate. I've got 5 kids, and I'm not willing to sit by and let them face a problem in the future that I can handle myself.
Yep.
So I'm not happy with letting my kids inherit this mess. So
that seems to be a pretty common theme with most people, 100% for the future as well as now. Well, that's awesome. I'll let you carry on. Great to meet you.
You as well, mate.
See you during the march.
Will do. Cheers, mate. Thank you very much.
So things have definitely thickened up. It's now 11:30, so we have had to wait for a bit of time past the official start time, but the numbers have definitely got a heck of a lot better. So probably better than that comparison march from a couple of weeks ago that I was talking about, where it looked real sparse before we left. So good to see. I would say somewhere around sort of 1,500 here now, which is nice. So we'll see how that thickens up again once we start marching, and we'll get up the corner and try and get you the vision of the full numbers coming past.
For the South Island, Southerners working for South Islanders and for everybody that calls the South home. Now, the system we have in New Zealand now is, I'd say, rotten to the core. Would you agree? Yes. Today, that rot can be found all the way up in Wellington. And it doesn't matter what political party you put up there, whether it's blue, red, yellow, doesn't matter. It's all rotten. That core can be found right in the core of Wellington, and no matter who's in there, it's going to stay the same. It's not going to change. There has never been a political party in power that has ever given away or reduced the powers that the previous power gave to them. It's never happened. It always gets worse, it always ratchets up. End of the day, as long as Wellington remains a seat of power, nothing is going to change in this country. So where I stand is that the South Island should have its own parliament, it should be in charge of its own affairs, we should be able to make laws for ourselves, what happens in our country, what happens for our people, future and present, what happens with our resources. We should be the ones that decide what happens with that, not some bureaucrat in power in Wellington who's bloody who knows what they're doing with it. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell. I wrote a book a couple of years ago explaining how it all works. I've got a couple of copies of that if you guys want one of those, or if you identify with what I'm saying, feel free to catch up with me afterwards and we'll have a yarn. But I just want to thank Derek down here. I'm proud to stand side by side with this man. I love what him and the Freedom and Rights Coalition are doing an amazing job. This guy's put together an amazing crew, incredible stuff. So thank you very much. My name's Simon.
I guess the expectation on us, keep the peace, make sure we're not provoking anybody, make sure we're not answering to any provocation, and it's what makes our protest here so successful, yeah? How are we feeling? We feeling good? We feeling ready to go? How's the energy? How's the energy? We're gonna just play a bit of music as we hit the road, you know?
As you can see, the bikes are now leaving on this new route. They're heading up Madras Street and then going down straight down Amar. So here comes the crowd now, coming back from this bottom left corner of Latimer. Let's see how this goes. Cheers, man. Appreciate it.
No more celebrities telling us how we're supposed to be.
Right, as predicted, as it's coming through, and obviously everyone getting together, it seems a lot thicker, a lot more, once again, than I first predicted, standing around earlier. So we'll give you a bit of a running commentary of those signs as we usually do. Let's check this out. Piece over here. Hey, Jacinda, what about vaccine deaths and injuries? We want freedom, simple. Fear is the prison, courage is the key, freedom is the prize. I like that one. This will only end when we say no more. Wakey, wakey, whānau, lift the mandates. Why not? Once upon a time, there was a thing called freedom. The end. Jacinda's agenda is not our future. How you going? Okay. New Zealand unite, freedom is our right. The juggler has lost his footing. He's back into it. Now, there we go, the end of it. So there's definitely a shrink. So I'll correct myself once again, back and forth we go. But interesting to get the number at the end of this. Probably over 1,000, probably less than 2. Based on previous experience and just seeing how they ended so quickly. Well, let's go and get amongst it and see what people think. Hey, how are ya?
If they can live another day by obeying the government.
Beautiful people, beautiful. Oh, hey, how are you? Yeah, good. Beautiful. So we've marched down Armour, coming past the Margaret Mayhew playground. Still an impressive sight, although the numbers might be down. Still an impressive sight straight up the middle of the city. Flags everywhere, and everyone tight knit unit. On the march here, so what brings you out to protest, Greg?
Well, just get rid of the mandates. They're not doing the country any good, costing the economy, it's costing money, it's causing division in society.
When do we want it? When do we want it? When do we want it?
So yeah, by all means, the numbers are definitely down. Reminiscent of the Rolleston or Selwyn March, where there was, I think, about 1,200 that day. So that's what we're looking at today. I mean, obviously still stretching through over by Turanga over there and curling around here, but she's pretty spread out. And it does end pretty quick over to my left. So, but there you go. Still the same passionate people, still making their noise.
Mana kiti amai Aotearoa, God of nations, at thy feet, in the bonds of love we meet. Hear our voices, we entreat. God defend our free land. God Pacific's triple star, from the shores of strife and war. Make her praises heard afar. God defend New Zealand.
I tell you what, I never get sick of singing our national anthem. Always gives me goosebumps, and it's really awesome. I just want to say thank you to everyone, from me personally, and obviously the Freedom and Rights Coalition, and everybody else that has been involved. Some of you have been on every march since our first one on 2nd of October. Every march, you guys are awesome. Some of you have been on most of the marches since the 2nd of October. You guys are awesome. Some of you have only just started marching. You guys are awesome. Online and private messaged me and said, I thought it was all about the mandates. It still is. That hasn't changed. Apparently she's saying in a couple of weeks that she's going to drop the mandates. You know what? I don't trust her one bit. So if you're here and you're jabbed, you're welcome. If you're double jabbed, you're double welcome. If you got the booster, well, we'll forgive you for being a rooster. You're still welcome. Our message is still about no more mandates. Our message is still about remove this current corrupt government. Our message has always been about peace. Our message has always been about safety. Our message is always around order and unity. It's a beautiful thing. I tell you what, I love being out here on Saturday with you guys. I love coming together like this. This gives me hope. This gives me courage. This builds my faith. This shows me, this tells me that there's hope for my children and my grandchildren. But we must have tactics. We must have plans. And it's one thing to say it, and we've all been saying it. It's another thing as to how we're going to implement it. So I'm going to ask you for a little bit of time, because we have strategies. There are strategies in place. And the first one is, I saw another comment on one of the posts, and someone name dropped a particular church. I haven't named any churches up here. I've never said it's about the Catholics, the Protestants, the Baptists, the Pentecostals, whatever church. I've never named a church. So when people name churches, it's just to cause division. It's clickbait hate to bring division in our midst. And I tell you what, for us to move forward, for us to be successful, we have to be in unity. Am I apolitical? The Freedom and Rights Coalition are not, I repeat, not, don't listen to clickbait hate, starting a political party. And I said it last week and I'll say it again. I will help the status quo. I will not help the status quo. I will help those against the status quo. We need to enshrine, and I'm nearly done, we need to enshrine and protect the Bill of Rights, never to be touched or tampered with again. We need to help those with mental health, with abuse, and help those with child poverty. We need to help those child abuse and the stuff that's happening there. We need to create happy homes of help, because it starts in the home. We need to help people get in their first homes. We need to bring down the petrol prices. We need to at least halve taxes and rates. Call me a dreamer.